Hi, I'm Mark Richards with the Ditch Witch organization. Today we'd like to demonstrate the tools that could be used to make up and break joints of pipe and downhole tools. In other videos we've discussed the dangers of using pipe wrenches on drill strings and showed you how to use hydrotong wrenches to change out tools. Today we'll show you the proper use of quick wrenches, easy connect, and SplineLok systems. Let's get started. Always remember the machine must be shut off and the tracker control drill lock must be activated before working near the drill string. First, we'll demonstrate the proper use of quick wrenches. If joining, add tool joint compound and hand tighten before installing wrenches. Quick wrenches consist of vise handles, vise jaws, pivot nuts, and screw drive. Attach quick wrenches to either join or break position. Facing the drill, the handle closest to you points to the left to join and to the right to break out. Unbolt vise and place the jaws of one handle around the pipe near the joint. Bolt the jaws of the vise together and tighten. Attach the pivot nuts to each end of the screw drive. Install the nuts into the wrench handles and secure. The joint should be between the two vices and the jaw handles should both be up. Tighten the vise on the second jaw. To join, the handle closest to you points to the left. Scribe a straight line across the joint on both sides of the separating line. Scribe a second line on the movable side of the joint in the opposite direction of the tightening action from the first line. Refer to your operator's manual for the appropriate measurement between the two scribed lines. Turn the handle until the second line meets the first. Turn the handle the opposite direction 2 turns to relieve pressure. Remove quick wrench components. To break, the handle closest to you points to the right. Turn the handle until the joint is broken. Turn the handle the opposite direction 2 turns to relieve pressure. Remove quick wrench components. Next we'll look at easy connects. There are a few types of easy connect systems. The basic connection procedure is similar for all of them. We'll show the basic procedure and discuss the key differences afterwards. Easy connect systems consist of a transition sub, O-ring, connector, collar, and retaining bolts. The connector must be secured to bits or reamers with full torque using the scribe line method. The transition sub must be connected to the drill string using the onboard wrenches and machine torque. Slide the collar onto the transition sub with the retaining holes toward the tool. Ensure threads on the transition sub and connector are clean and free of debris. Apply tool joint compound. Hand tighten the connector onto the transition sub. Back the connector off to leave the appropriate gap. Slide the collar over the flats and tighten the retaining bolts. The key differences in the Easy Connect systems and the Hawkeye are the placement of the O-ring and the gap between the shoulder of the transition sub and the connector. Easy Connect 2 and 3 will mate up so that the shoulders touch. Once made up, back the connector off 20 degrees. This is at least one complete flat. The Hawkeye will not make up as far, so there will be a gap when it is hand tightened. Back off to the first flat. The Easy Connect and Hawkeye components are designed specifically to handle pullback and bending loads without any of the shoulders in the joint connecting. That is why it is important to have the right gap between the shoulder to extend the life of your connector and transition sub. As the connector threads wear, the connector will make up further. On the Hawkeye, once the connector shoulder touches the transition sub shoulder, it is important to replace the connector. There should be a visible gap on the shoulder between the connector and the transition sub when the joint is ready to use. The O-ring on the Easy Connect 2 should be installed in the groove indicated. The Easy Connect 3 O-ring sets against the shoulder just after the threads, not in the groove behind the shoulder. The Hawkeye O-ring is installed before the threads on the end of the connector. The SplineLok is pretty straightforward. The tool is installed and the 4 solid pins are inserted as indicated. Then insert the 2 coiled pins as shown. These systems have been designed to facilitate tool changes on drill strings. Remember, you should never use pipe wrenches on drill strings. I'm Mark Richards with the Ditch Witch organization. Don't learn safety by accident.